feel like this video is going to serve several purposes. For one, I get out of my YouTube pause, which I never really intended to take, but then kind of did. I'm also not going to fake apologize about it because the truth is there's no real reason behind it. I've just been enjoying life, I guess. And then the other purpose, which is far more important, is to talk to those of you who hate going to the dentist and thus avoid going to the dentist. And maybe to give you a little bit of inspiration, also motivation as to why neglecting going to a dental office is usually a really bad idea. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Christina. I'm a dentist based in Dresden, Germany, and this is my YouTube channel where I share some glimpses of my life while also talking about dentistry related topics. First of all, let me point out that I think it's absolutely normal if you don't like going to the dentist. I think it would be even weird if you actually did like going to the dentist. It is okay to like your dentist and to be spending time with him or her, but if the actual act of you going to the dentist is giving you a lot of pleasure, then so from the point of view of a dentist, I think it's perfectly normal to have at least a little bit of a bad feeling about having that appointment in your calendar. I think what most people also forget is that us as dentists, we have to have our teeth checked as well, so we can't avoid going there either. And I had my checkup the other day, and it always serves as a good reminder to realize what our patients are going through, because even when it comes to teeth cleaning, I'm sitting there absolutely paranoid and stressed out, so we get you. But if you hate going to the dentist, yet you're still going, then this video doesn't even apply to you because you're doing a great job. So let's talk about people, and maybe you're one of them who altogether avoid going. I think you might know at this point what I'm going to tell you already, and that is there's really not that many things in life that serve you less of a purpose than not going and avoiding seeing your dentist. And let me tell you why. And you probably know this already, but I'm gonna stress it out once more because why not? As you know by now, teeth can't really heal by themselves. So for example, if you cut yourself, of course the wound is gonna heal by itself and it's not gonna be a big deal. You're not gonna remember at the end of the day. However, as you know, teeth don't really have the option to heal themselves, and this is where us come in our profession. And the problem is also, while other wounds on your body have the tendency to get better by healing, with teeth it's really the opposite. So if you already have a cavity, it's not gonna magically fill itself or heal itself, it's only gonna get bigger. And I see a lot of patients when I point out that they have a cavity in one or multiple teeth, they're often gonna tell me, oh, but I didn't even notice, like I'm never in pain or anything. And this is where maybe a little bit of a fake safe feeling sets in, and this is why people are very good at pushing away that they actually need to go and see someone, is because of course it's not going to hurt. A tooth is a structure that is made out of several layers. So on the outside you have the enamel, then you have the dentin, and then comes the pulp or the nerve, as you want to call that. So up until the caries or the cavity has progressed to being close to the nerve, you're not going to feel anything. But the moment you feel something and the moment you are in pain, it's usually going to be too late. So please don't make that mistake, because it is far easier to, first of all, prevent cavities from actually forming. And even if you do already have a cavity, it is still easier most of the times to fill them rather than starting a root canal, rather than extracting the tooth, and then you need an implant, and that's a whole different story. This was a fast exaggeration down the line, but you get the idea. So that's the one thing. It's not gonna get better, it's only gonna get worse. And from a dentist's point of view, that's also a little bit frustrating, because you do have those patients, and I'm not trying to blame them or anything, but you do have those patients that come in regularly, you point out what needs to be done, and then they disappear and they never come back. And then they do come back and it's, I don't know, a Friday afternoon, they're in pain and you need to start a root canal. And maybe your teeth really have wonky roots, and so it's really difficult to start a root canal or even finish it successfully. And then the next drama starts. So please don't be one of them. I also understand that oftentimes people avoid the dentist because they have already gotten to a point where they're really ashamed of the status of their teeth and how their general oral situation looks like. And out of fear of judgment, they're not going to the dentist anymore altogether. And I think this is perfectly normal to feel this way, but I'm gonna fill you in with some information that maybe helps you overcome this fear of being judged or this feeling of shame that you have concerning your oral hygiene. I think personally speaking, the only time I judge a patient is when they come in and they haven't taken the time to brush their teeth. I mean, it's really not that difficult. You literally take a brush into your hand and you get rid of all the yucky stuff that's on your teeth. And if that hasn't been done prior to coming to see us, I feel, I don't know, just brush your teeth. But other than that, let's say your mouth consists of teeth that have fallen half apart and that almost can't be saved, and you haven't been to the dentist because of your fear, but you have brushed your teeth. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm just happy that you finally found the courage to come and see me or us or my team or the practice or another dentist. That's the only thing that matters at this point, to be fairly honest. Because it means that you do care, and it means that you do want to take care of an area in your life that maybe doesn't feel, or that you maybe don't feel so great about right at this point. So I'm not gonna judge you. And if you have a dentist that judges you based on that, then change. There's so many dentists in this world, just change, go to a different dentist. That one is obviously an asshole, so change. And that's the other thing that is super crucial, is to understand that if you're very afraid, you need to find a dentist that you're obviously vibing with. A dentist that you can trust, that understands you, that is willing to listen, that doesn't feel pushy in terms of what they want to do in terms of treatment and therapy, but somebody who feels like they're genuinely there for you, they understand you, and they have the best outcome for you in mind. Find a dental office that looks inviting and where the people seem nice and where the receptionist is being nice and where it's easy enough to get an appointment. You don't have to stick with one single person just because you feel like you have to. Find a dentist and a dental office that feels right to you. And also understand that you as a patient, you have control over how certain treatments are going to be done. Maybe you like to have as much done as you possibly can at once. Maybe you want to have the treatment fragmented into different segments. For me personally, it's perfectly fine also if my patients need a break, for example, or if they don't feel so well. Also in terms of the treatments, find yourself somebody who matches your rhythm. For example, you might be one of those patients who has several cavities, but you can't face the idea of having them mostly done at once. Maybe you want to break it up into smaller segments so it's more bearable for you to undergo the treatment altogether. Or maybe the idea of having to go multiple times mortifies you, so then ask if it's possible to do as much as possible in one segment. If you find a good dentist, then it should be generally absolutely possible to go at a pace that makes you feel comfortable. And in the meantime, let me point out that it's equally important that you still continue to take care of your teeth. And what I mean by that is brushing your teeth twice a day for at least 2 minutes, and to floss once a day, which you can do in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. It really doesn't matter when you floss, it's just important that you do floss. And especially if you feel that your oral health is in a disastrous place, then please do not neglect taking care of your teeth, because it's only gonna make it worse. I really want to finish this video by telling you once again that if you have a good dentist at hand, he or she is not going to judge you just because you've been avoiding the dentist for a long time. So please don't let that hold you back, because as I said before, it's only gonna make things worse, more difficult to solve, and you just don't need that. So this is gonna be it for today. I hope you got something out of it. Please let me know if there's anything that you want me to cover in more detail, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!